Everyone, my name is Dawn and I just wanted to do a short video for you on TPR. So I work with a lot of people who are applying to Gogokid to teach ESL online. And if people have not taught ESL online before, they have questions about TPR. I thought it was just easier to do a video that you can watch instead of typing out a long answer. So, what is TPR? TPR actually stands for Total Physical Response. So it's using hand and body movements to teach new material or to elicit a response from the student. So you can see I naturally use my hands. Even when I just speak in normal conversation, my hands are flying. I could see people's eyes going to my hands. So this is easy for me, and it might be easy for a lot of you. For some people, it's going to feel very strange. But anyway, there are a few different ways we can use TPR. The first and most common way is in conversation with the student to elicit a response. So I'll give an example. Say we're teaching them a new vocabulary word, apple. We're teaching them apple. I use a lot of props too, but I'll talk about that another time. So I'm going to teach apple. First, I'm going to point to my mouth because I want them to watch the pronunciation, watch my mouth, and listen to the pronunciation carefully. So I will show my prop and I will point to my mouth and say apple. Then I will cup my ear. So cupping my ear is the universal sign for it's your turn to talk. I can't hear you. Apple. See, don't you want to say apple? Apple. Okay, so those are the two most common. Pointing to your mouth when you're teaching a word, banana. Yay! Very good. Okay, pointing to your mouth and pointing to your cupping your ear when you want them to speak. So this does one major thing that is awesome when you are teaching ESL to a student who does not know any English or knows just a very limited amount of English. So it's important for us not to use incidental language or not to use a lot of words as we're speaking with the student or teaching the student. We want to use as few words as possible in the beginning so we don't confuse them. So by us teaching them apple to speak when we cup our ear, we are cutting down on us doing something like this. Apple. Can you say apple? Can you pronounce apple? Your turn. Say apple. So that is just crazy confusing and all over the place. It is much easier just to do something like this. Apple. And wait for the student to respond. Make sure you wait long enough when you do TPR and you're cupping your ear. Make sure you wait long enough. Another tip is when you cup your ear, keep making eye contact with the student. Do not cup your ear and turn away because you don't know what the student's doing then. You don't know if they're zoning out or if they're trying really hard to pronounce it. Cup your ear and keep looking at the student. Okay, that is the first way, the most common. We use that all the time. Another way to use TPR that's very, very important is to have the student do it with you. So if we are teaching apple or really any fruit, I pretend to eat it or bite it. So I will do something like, even if I don't have a prop, apple. And pretend to hand it to the student. You want them to do that action also. Most of the time they get it, but if they're very shy, they might not. So you try a few times. Apple. Mmm. Apple. Apple. And try and have them do it. So you want them to respond. Another way to use TPR is so if you're teaching a letter, if we're teaching A, I would show the card A as well, but I like to try and do the hand movement. So like A. So I don't necessarily do sign language because I don't think a student learning English, I don't know what the letter for A is, but oh, this, isn't it this? I don't know, but I don't think this student, I don't think it would help them much. So instead of that, I try and actually do the A. It might not look like it very much, but and then the student does it as well. So I'll do this, and if I want the student to do it, I'll do this. Okay, so this is another TPR for you are looking for them to do something. Other ways to do TPR. So, with my more advanced students, especially, but all students, we want speaking in full sentences, of course. But the more advanced students, they're going to be speaking in full sentences when I ask them a question. So, one side, I don't know where I came up with this, I saw it from someone, but when I want them to speak in a full sentence, I will ask, can you please speak in a full sentence? Or can you say it in a full sentence? And this is my sign for full sentence. So then afterwards in the lesson, if they're still not answering in a full sentence, or if they forget, or they're just being lazy, don't want to speak in a full sentence, all I have to do is this. And then they start speaking in a full sentence without me even having to ask. So it gets less annoying for the student. And then they just start speaking in full sentences all the time because they get tired of me doing that. Um, Another point I wanted to make, TPR, there are no universal signs for TPR. I kind of just make things up as I go along. My hands are just all over the place anyway. So, for example, fruits, I pretend to eat. A banana, I might pretend to peel. Teaching an animal, I might do ears or just hand movements, body movements, facial expressions. In your interview and when you're teaching, it's very important to do it, but they are marking you on your interview to see if you're using TPR. So make sure to use it. Make sure to try and have the student do it as well. If the student isn't doing it with you, don't waste too much time trying to get them to do it. You just want to try a few times and then move on. So that is, I think, all I wanted to mention about TPR. It not only helps the student learn new material, but it keeps the lesson more interesting. It keeps your energy up. It keeps the student interacting with you. So there are many reasons and many ways to use TPR. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments and I'd be happy to answer you. And good luck on your interview and good luck teaching and have fun using TPR. Bye.